Wall Street was a 1987 movie directed by Oliver Stone, starring Michael Douglas as Gordon Gekko. Actually, Douglas was the third choice to play Gordon Gekko behind Warren Beatty and Richard Gere. The fact that Douglas won a Academy Award Best Actor for his role, they probably were a little bit upset that they passed on it. The story chronicles the rise and fall of young Bud Fox, played by Charlie Sheen, who works in this second-tier brokerage house, cold calling clients while trying to avoid being decayed. Didn't know, meaning the customer refuses to acknowledge the trade, so the broker pays for the loss. He spends more than he earns while trying to avoid the hitman from American Express. Even though Bud tells his father he needs his $400 suits, that they're essential, Gekko finds him transparent and embarrassing. Come on, buddy. We can't be seen together looking like this, as Bud's trying to make a sales pitch. One thing Bud is he's persistent. He spends 59 days trying to cold call Gekko. On the 60th day, he brings a box of illegal Cuban cigars to Gekko's office. He sweet talks Gekko's secretary Natalie in a scheme that's really reminiscent of Tony Curtis in the earlier movie Sweet Smell of Success. It was a 1960s movie that Oliver Stone found as the inspiration for Wall Street. Bud gains entry to the world only he dreamed about, Gekko's war room. While tenacity will get you in the door, you got to seal the deal. Unfortunately, all Bud has to offer is these dogs with fleas. In an act of desperation, Fox divulges material, non-public insider information. He had just received from his father, Carl, who's played by Martin Sheen. So Sheen plays Bud's father both in real life and in the movies as the head of the maintenance crew of Blue Star Airline. He knows they were just cleared from a lawsuit. We knew it was those damn guys from Cincinnati. Blue Star Airlines would now be free to fly more flights, and profits, like planes, would soar. Would Gordon be interested in this information? Given enough time to vet Fox and the source, Gordon places a buy order with his newest buddy. Bud claims to have finally bagged the elephant, but who's really bagged whom? He's got a toehold into a world of high finance and riches, but Gekko has fired the opening salvo into the battle for Bud Fox's soul. Bud begins distancing himself from his father, Carl, and becomes more comfortable in the world of his new father mentor, Gordon Gekko. Actually, there's a couple paternal figures in the movie. In addition to Martin Sheen and Michael Douglas, Hal Holbrook plays Lou Mannheim, who's kind of this father confessor, Greek chorus, and Jiminy Cricket conscience all rolled up into one. So combining Holbrook, Douglas, Sheen, and even Franklin Cover, his role as Dan, the failed broker, these all represent kind of an amalgam of Oliver Stone's own father. The movie's an homage to Stone's father, who worked on Wall Street, but also lost all his money. So after Bud's tasted the high life, he's presented with a moral dilemma from Gordon Gekko. Since Bud's father, Carl, isn't on the board of any other organizations, his useful source of inside information has been exhausted. His Faust will now have to sell his soul to Gekko's Mephistopheles in order to stay in the world in which money never sleeps. The world is made of benefits. You do good, you get perks. When Gekko asks Bud to get more useful information, Bud protests lightly, recognizing that Gordon's requests would really constitute illegal insider trading. Like a broken toy that a child no longer has any use for, Gordon discards Bud from his car, his life, and his lifestyle. With the sobering realization of his fall from grace from Gordon Gekko, Bud sheepishly knocks on the window, telling Gekko, Satan, "All right, Mr. Gekko, you got me." The pact is complete and his soul is lost. Now on for the perks. His new circle of friends with benefits include interior decorator Darrianne, played by the comely but difficult to direct Daryl Hannah. This transfiguration from townhouse to funhouse all occurs while Talking Heads' song "This Must Be the Place" ironically talks about home. The house is so dysfunctional, non-functional, that Gekko places a drink on the coffee table without any glass, only to have it fall to the floor. Bud and Darrianne have every 1987 gizmo and gadget known to man, and they use them all to try to fill their empty lives. The scene in which they listen to Pavarotti while making sushi conjures up the image of two kids are home alone in their parents' house with a liquor cabinet unlocked. They seem giddy with all their newfound freedom, wealth, and power. Even with all these toys, Bud stares into the dark void of New York and reflectively and introspectively asks himself, who am I? Bud's metamorphosis into a mini-me or Gordon Gekko Jr. is almost complete, only until he finds out that Gekko's planning on liquidating Blue Star, his father's airline. Feeling betrayed but not outfoxed, Buddy fails his final initiation into the elite world of people who make enough money not to waste time. The world requires guys who win some, lose some, but get back in the game after a loss. All that's required is locking up the love of your family, loyalty, your conscience in a small box, then throwing away the key. Instead of becoming a player, Bud settles for nothing and seeks redemption by cooperating with the SEC in a sting operation against his former mentor. Now, I don't know if this is a quote from the Bible or just something I made up, but and the young shall gnaw on the bones of the elders. The circle is complete when the office manager Lynch tells the police, Fox, the minute I laid eyes on you, I knew you were no good. This is the polar opposite of Lynch's earlier declaration during Bud's elephant bagging days. Fox, the minute I laid eyes on you, I knew you were a winner. Broke, fired, and going to jail. Our protagonist is redeemed when he realizes he's just Bud Fox.